I look good. I look exactly the way you wish you could. I look good. I look good. Come on. I'm in love with a girl that I call old school. Sipping on my brandy, I'm feeling brand new. Got the feather in my hat because I'm just that cool. You peeping at my alligators, bent kind of slow. I look good. I look exactly the way you wish you could. I look good. I look good. I look good.
Brent Laurie, the hero in last night's game, his second career walk-off home run came leading off the bottom of the ninth. And he won it in dramatic fashion. The Texas Rangers 17-7. They are 9-2 on the road this season. Best record in the major leagues. Michael Young bats third. He's back at third base this afternoon. His last 18 games, Young has hit at a .351 clip with 3 doubles, 2 home runs, and he's driven in 12. Ricky Romero has always pitched well against the Rangers. He's off to a good start this season.
Yeah, his ERA of 3.16. Opponent's batting average just 193 against Ricky Romero. Pitched into the 7th inning last start, allowed just 2 earned runs, but still got a no decision. He's trying to become the first Blue Jay pitcher to win 4 consecutive decisions to start a season since Scott Richmond did it back in 2009.
Ian Kinsler, the leadoff batter, takes a first pitch strike. The Texas Rangers as a team have hit .417 on the first pitches. They're a very aggressive, free swinging ball club.
We saw them early in yesterday's game trying to gauge young Drew Hutchison, and it cost them. They made the adjustment the second time through, and they started swinging earlier in the count.
Beautiful day. The roof is open here at Rogers Center. Lots of kids on hand. It is school day here today at the Rogers Center. There's a lot of atmosphere when the kids are in attendance.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to see on the field from those kids dropping a baseball in right field. Jose gets some extra running in to run it down.
So Romero is set. He looks in for the sign from Aaron Sebia. Down and in. J.P. Arencibia did not play in last night's game. Jeff Mathis was behind the plate. With the left-hander Harrison on the mound, there have been a few adjustments in the lineup. Kinsler flies to right. Bautista over near the foul line and makes the catch.
Good start for Ricky Romero. Let's take a look at the scattering report brought to you by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners. Basically, Romero is going to challenge you with the fastball. He's got a dynamite changeup that he'll use against lefties and righties. His curveball is very good also. He's been cutting the ball just a little bit more. And today, with all the right-handed batters in there, we might see more changeups and curveballs than we have seen from Romero in the past.
Texas, against left-handed pitching this year, has hit .309. That's tops in the big leagues. Elvis Andrus, the DH this afternoon. Ron Washington recognizing it is a long grind in the 6-month season, so he's used this day to give Andrus half the game off as the DH.
Playing on the AstroTurf here, and then they go down to Tampa and they play on the AstroTurf down there on another series, so he's going to rotate guys in and out of that DH spot.
Andrus has been hot over his last 8 games, hitting nearly .390. He's gone 3 for 6 in this series with a pair of doubles. This is a very good hitting ball club, and they're veterans, but look at the outfield defense. It's shaded to the opposite field. Even though it's a right-handed lineup against the left-hander, this Ranger team still goes the other way a lot.
Yeah, I think that's going to show that Romero's going to throw some breaking balls.
And there's a base hit into center field. Rajay Davis plays it on a hop.
How do you hit a breaking ball that's away from you? You stay inside it. We saw it, the 3 batters in the 9th inning. Kinsler, Andrus, and then Michael Young against Francisco Cordero, how they stay inside the ball and hit the ball through the middle. Good 2-strike approach.
And that 9th inning rally came with nobody on and 2 outs. They tied it up in the top of the ninth. Michael Young back at third base. Goes after the first pitch, and that's what we talked about. This is a very aggressive, free swinging ball club.
Why wait around? When you get that first one, let it go. Andrews is a threat to steal over there at first base. That is Torey Lovello with his outfielders really shifting them over to right field. You see Rajay Davis. He'll watch and a lot of film on the Texas Rangers. And he will judge where to play his outfielders off of all the scouting reports and the tape that he watches.
The first impression you get with a right-handed lineup is, well, they're good hitters and they're going to pull. Well, that's not the case with Texas. There's an opposite field base hit. Bautista plays it on a hop. Andrews is challenging his arm. Here's the throw to third. Not in time. Elvis Andrews ran right in the face of Jose Bautista. Bautista made a strong throw, but it was late.
It was a little bit late, and it was a short hop. And Brett Lawrie had to give ground a little bit. Here comes Bautista, charges it, and makes a strong throw. But watch how Laurie's got to back up just a little bit, and by the time he goes back down to make the tag, it's too late. Andrews, again, good speed with those 34 infield hits last year. He's going to challenge Jose. Brett Lawrie has to back up just a little bit. If he goes out and gets that ball, then maybe he's got a shot at third base.
Mike Napoli playing first base and batting cleanup here this afternoon.
You know, compounding that also is they take a shot at getting the guy at third base, and if they mess it up and they can't do it, Michael Young keeps running, and he's at second base now.
Inside. Napoli, I mentioned he caught the first two games. He's 0 for 6 in the series so far, but he's had a pair of walks. He's showing an awful lot of patience in this series, taking a lot of close pitches. Andrews singled, and Michael Young singled right behind him. It's second and third, one out. The Rangers over their last 10 games have hit just .258. That's dropped their major league leading team average from .313 to .291, but they still lead the big leagues in hitting.
Just a couple of big guns out of that lineup.
On the ground, Lawrie going home. And they've got Andrews in a rundown. Arancibia tags out Andrews. Michael Young moves to third. Well, what a good play by Lawrie. He is so quick. He got to that ball in good shape. Andrews had committed toward home, and Lawrie took his time and made one throw to Arancibia, and then Arancibia tags out Andrews.
It's a heads-up play. Very heads-up. They were going to get one out over at first base and give up the run, but why not? Why not take a chance when you've got this type of range? You see him go over there and very quickly throw a strike to home. Get that lead runner. There's nothing wrong with that. They run him back to the base where he came from. And Michael Young can only move up 90 feet. And they do it fast enough where Mike Napoli can't get into scoring position. Here comes Arancibia. He runs him back to where he came from, Andrews. And they save a run.
Nelson Cruz goes after first pitch and fouls it out of play. Boy, the infield defense, the way it was set up, the Rangers could assume that they're going to get a run on a ball to the infield, but Brett Lawrie alertly went to the plate.
To the middle of the diamond, yes. But Lawrie, with that quick speed and explosiveness, cuts down the run.
Brett Lawrie has certainly stabilized the infield defense for the Blue Jays. Well, they have stayed in Cruz's kitchen all series long. He is just 1 for 9 in the series. The one hit came in his first at bat, second inning of game 1 on Monday night.
They stayed in there. Drew Hutchison threw a couple of really nice pitches that really tied him up last night.
On the ground, Escobar at short goes to second for the fore side, and the Rangers strand a pair in the first. Ricky Romero pitched out of a tough situation. New look lineup for the Blue Jays. Kelly Johnson will lead off. He's hit .263 as the leadoff batter and over 900 ABs.
Rangers this afternoon. Harrison allowed a career-high 14 hits against Tampa Bay. That was an 8-4 loss last Friday versus the Rays. That loss snapped a 7-game win streak for Harrison dating back to last season. For his career versus the Blue Jays, he's had 4 games, 3 starts, 16 earned runs in 14 2/3 innings against Toronto, an ERA of 10.5. It's the highest against any opponent with at least 3 starts. Big splits for Matt Harrison, as you see it. Right-handers hitting .373, the lefties hitting just .094 against the left-hander Harrison.
Quite a departure from what he did a year ago. Last year he held right-handers to a .249 average, while left-handers hit .275, and we think it has something to do with his changeup.
Yeah, he is going to throw changeups a little bit more often this year to the left-handed batters. Got away from it last year, and I think that's why the lefties homed in on him.
Kelly Johnson hitting leadoff against the left-hander. Johnson has over 900 at-bats in the leadoff position, so it's not something new to him. First time he's done it this year with the Blue Jays. Goes after that first pitch and hooks it foul. That evens the count at a ball and a strike.
Broke his bat.
John Farrell has been contemplating this all the way back into spring training. You'll remember at the end of spring training, he flip-flopped Johnson and Escobar just to see how it might work. Kelly Johnson really did well hitting in the leadoff spot at the end of spring training. And although Farrell was tempted to stick with it, he felt that Escobar's performance last year at the top of the order, he deserved to have an opportunity to hit there again.
He's got a very good on-base percentage. As a career leadoff hitter, Kelly Johnson sees a lot of pitches. And with the left-hander on the mound, they've bunched a lot of righties in the middle of that lineup.
And that plays into Blue Jays' favor, given the way the right-handers have hit against Harrison this year. Pop toward left. Brandon Snyder in left field, making his first big league start in the outfield. Makes the catch.
Take a look at the scattering report for Matt Harrison. He's got to use that fastball. He cuts it a little bit. He sinks it a little bit. The curveball is a good, hard, slurvy type of curveball. He throws from the 3/4 spot. Change up, there it is right there. He's got to throw it to the left-hander. He's got to use it. He really doesn't just blow you away with his stuff. Over the last couple of years, he's become more of a pitcher. And he understands what he needs to do to get you out. He's got a very free and easy delivery. Helps him stay in the strike zone.
Escobar Escobar just 217 for the season. 2-0. Joel Carreño is loosening up in the bullpen, and he has just arrived here, so he didn't get a chance to throw pregame. So he's getting in some throwing right now. He is in the bullpen. Off-speed pitch, popped in the air. Kinsler fighting the sun and stays with it. Used that glove to shield his eyes. Bright sunny day here with the roof open. Carreño replaces the left-hander Evan Crawford, who was sent back to AAA after the game last night. So the Blue Jays have 2 left-handers in their bullpen and 5 right-handers.
Another long man also for Carreño. He can come out of that bullpen if that starter gets knocked out, give you multiple innings. And I think that's what they're looking for right now from some of their bullpen guys.
Jose Bautista and Johnson went back-to-back in last night's game.
You know, there's such a fine line from being in a slump and hitting the ball hard. You watch Bautista and you say, okay, well, he looks like he's ready, but that timing mechanism where he picks his leg up is so important to him. And when he gets it down, he sees the ball just a little bit better, and his head doesn't really drift. And we saw it last night. There are his numbers against Harrison.
Michael Young deep at third. In the dirt, scooped by Napoli, and Matt Harrison has a quick 1-2-3 first inning. We've played an inning here at Rogers Center. It's scoreless. Romero will start things off here in a second, facing the number 6 hitter in the lineup, and this is significant for the season. 1 through 5 he's had no problems with a 127 average, but he gets down the bottom of the order. They hit nearly 300. What do you think the problem is for the bottom of that batting order for Romero?
At times trying to be a little bit too fine and trying to be a little bit too perfect. They're hitting 6 through 9 for a reason. They don't power the ball out of the ballpark, so you've got to be aggressive. His last start, 7, 8, 9, he walked a couple of batters in the 3rd inning that led to a run.
Toyaba swings at the first pitch and grounds to shortstop. There's a good start for Romero.
I think pitchers, they're always concentrating. It's not like they lose focus. It's just something happens where they might try to be a little bit too fine, saying, okay, I'm going to, cruise right through and breeze right through these guys, and your mind starts thinking about the top of the lineup. And all of a sudden you've walked those guys, and now you got to deal with them, the top of the lineup with guys on base.
5th career start for Romero against Texas. His ERA and his WHIP are both under 1 against the Rangers. Alberto Gonzalez has had a good series. Gets jammed on that pitch. We have seen the Rangers throughout the first 2 games of this series look for balls out over the plate, and they don't try to pull them, they go the other way, and that has been the theme throughout this series.
That's why you've got to move that ball in and out against him.
Popped on the infield. Kelly Johnson, like Kinsler, dealing with the sun, stays with it. 2 quick outs.
Well, the first thing you notice about Ricky today, he's got a good fastball. It's on a downward plane, and he's keeping it low in the strike zone. That's a good sign.
Bautista talking with Kelly Johnson about the sun after Johnson made that catch. Came in to talk to his second baseman. Said, you know what, you got to help me out. Everybody is going to deal with the sun that's standing high over Rogers Center. Everybody is aware this could be a challenging sun here this afternoon. Even Ricky Romero took a look up, and that's what they're dealing with. Brandon Snyder getting his first big league start in left field here. Snyder is an infielder. He was drafted as a #1 pick by the Orioles back in 2005. Spent 7 seasons in the minor leagues with the Orioles. Hits this ball high and deep to center. Davis on the run. This ball is gone. Brandon Snyder hits his first big league home run against Ricky Romero. And that's the first home run Romero has allowed to the Texas Rangers.
Wow. 7 years in the minor leagues, and then it comes up here and takes an inside fastball and hits it on a line to center field. When it left the bat, I didn't think it had enough. But a line drive, he kept it low, kept it out of the wind, and gets the Rangers on the board.
Rajay Davis recognized right off the bat that that ball was hit hard. He turned and ran toward the fence in center. 2 outs, and Craig Gentry, the #9 hitter. There's a base hit to left field. Gentry has his second hit of the series. So with 2 outs, Brandon Snyder, the 8 hitter, hits a home run to center. And then Gentry, the 9th hitter, it's a base hit to center field.
That's what we were talking about. 8 and 9. Turns the lineup around, and now Ricky's got to face Kinsler with a runner on base.
Remember, that first pitch is always important. This is a free swinging ball club. Gentry at first, and Romero's aware that Gentry will run. He's 3 for 4 in steals this year. This is the rubber game of a 3-game series. Texas lost the series to Tampa Bay at home over the weekend. That was the first series loss of the season for the Rangers. They had won the first 6 series. Gentry with a 2-out single after Snyder had the 2-out home run. Kinsler goes after that first pitch. Changeup fooled him. The 8 and 9 hitters this year against Romero have hit .360. So it continues to be a little bit of a hurdle for him.
Do you have any explanation for that?
I have a theory. Bounced on the ground. Laurie wide of third. Across the diamond in time to get Kinsler. And we'll talk about that theory when Romero takes the mound in the 3rd. But the Rangers break out on top. The first major league home run of Brandon Snyder. It's 1-0 Texas. first 2 batters in the second inning, and one of the few times this season Romero showing some frustration. But the home run by Brandon Snyder, his first big league home run to center field, has put Texas out on top, 1-0. Edwin Encarnacion takes a first pitch strike. Edwin is first in the American League in extra base hits, second in total bases, third in home runs, and third in RBI. Off to the best start of his career.
Yeah, don't wake up. You hear ball players talking all the time about stay unconscious. You have that out-of-body experience when you're in the kind of groove that Edwin Encarnacion is on right now. Don't think. What were we talking about the other day that Yogi Berra said? You can't hit and think at the same time.
He said that a long time ago, and it's still true. 7-game hit streak for Encarnacion. And pops this one in the air. Left fielder Brandon Snyder. Edwin's had a great month, and we want to congratulate him for being voted the Honda Player of the Month for April by the Toronto chapter of the Baseball Writers of America. Edwin hit .322 with 8 homers and 21 RBI. Honda, the official car of the Blue Jays, will make a donation to the charity of Edwin Encarnacion's choosing. Congratulations to Edwin. Terrific month. 5 more of those and it'll be a good year.
5 more of those and he's going to have a big contract.
He'll be the MVP. Ben Francisco hitting .231 for the season. Well, we talked a little bit about Ricky Romero and what the theory is with the bottom 4 hitters in the lineup. I think it's natural for most pitchers that they get through the meat of the order and they kind of take a deep breath and said, okay, now I'm past the tough hitters, and you have a tendency to just let up. And it's not conscious, obviously, it's a subconscious thing. And then with 2 outs in the second inning, he sees Brandon Snyder come up there and think, okay, I got this guy now, it's going to be a quick inning, and boom, boom, before you know it, a couple of hits, and at bottom of the order creates problems for you. And Francisco just over the glove of the shortstop. A base hit for Francisco with 1 out here in the second.
First hit of the afternoon by the Blue Jays. If Elvis Andrus is playing shortstop, he's a little bit taller than Alberto Gonzalez, who makes this play. Gonzalez with a good effort. Line drive by Francisco, and he just misses it in the left field. There's a lot of Blue Jays with good numbers against Matt Harrison.
Yeah, when you look up and down the order, Bautista comes in with a .429 average. Escobar 600. Francisco 400. Ben is now 3 for 6 at 500. Eric Thames is 2 for 3. A lot of good averages against the Ranger left-hander. Fred Laurier's 3rd home run of the season, won the game last night. Blue Jays really kind of got things going in the 7th inning by starting the runner. They started the runners a couple of different times in that situation, and fielder's choice off the bat of Jeff Mathis with the runners going kept them out of a double play and allowed them to take the lead.
That was probably the biggest managerial call, I thought, that went unnoticed. Starting that runner to keep the inning alive, stay out of the double play, and what you know, they would cash the runner in then with Kelly Johnson.
Ball on the strike, 1 out. Bounced in the dirt. Francisco got a good read, and he'll move into scoring position. That dirt ball read paying off for the Blue Jays as Francisco alertly moves to second.
You've got the best angle when you're a runner over at first base. You can see the flight of the baseball, and if it's down in the dirt, just take off. It's awfully tough for a catcher to find the ball, catch it, and then make a throw to second base. Just take off from first and you'll make it.
Laurie with another chance to drive in a run. He has 14 RBIs. Bounce to third. Michael Young bounces it in the dirt, but Napoli saves him for a second time. Brett Laurie, we mentioned his walk-off home run in the 9th inning. He hit it off the top of the wall in left center. But the unusual thing was that Kelly Johnson's home run on the left hits almost in the same spot. Johnson's home run in the third inning bounced off the top of the fence. See that 045 sign behind? Then look at where Lori's is. That's unbelievable.
A game of inches.
And they both bounced out of the ballpark. That was the best part. Mike Sparks, a great tape operator, picked up on that.
What are the chances of that? Not of Sparky catching that, but finding that. But what are the chances of 2 home run balls landing almost in the identical spot?
And then they both bounced out of the park, and they didn't stay in the ballpark. That's the best part of it. Eric Thames, a ball in the strike. Two outs. Texas up 1-0. Mentioned Thames has 2 hits in 3 at-bats against Matt Harrison. Checks on an inside pitch.
They don't think he can get around on their fastball. This whole series, they have played him away, the outfield, and pumped fastballs on the inner half to things.
And he takes something off, and Thames is out in front. Upstairs. Harrison will change his unload time very effectively. That time it was almost like a quick pitch. Hitters fall into a timing routine against a pitcher, but that time Harrison really unloaded in a hurry and tried to get Thames to chase that high fastball.
He was able to get a little something behind it too. 94 miles an hour with that fastball.
Full count, 2 outs. Cut on and missed. Thames strikes out. The Blue Jays will leave a runner on base, and Matt Harrison has a 1-0 lead after 2.
The Blue Jays on Sportsnet. Brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware and building center location. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Open air baseball here at Rogers Center, Lake Ontario, and the activity is picking up on the lake as the weather is warming up. Elvis Andrews serving as the DH here this afternoon, already has a hit in the ball game. Ricky Romero with a chance to win this series against the Rangers. There's a changeup up and away. Romero thought that was a pretty good pitch. Josh Hamilton still not in the lineup. He left Sunday night's game with a back problem. We saw him out earlier today, fielding ground balls, throwing, so it looks like he's getting close.
He looked fine to me.
Yeah.
You know.
But you know, Ron Washington's thinking about the long haul. They have an off day tomorrow, so Hamilton will have been able to get 4 complete days of rest before he plays again on Friday night in Cleveland. Popped in the air. Encarnacion in foul territory takes the catch. Ricky Romero has really been a horse. You go back to his last 9 starts right here at Rogers Center. He's undefeated with a 6-0 record, very respectable ERA, and the opponent's hitting just over 200 against him.
And he gets deep into a ball game, averaging pitching into the 8th inning. Doesn't walk anybody, throws strikes, knows how to keep the ball on the ground here, even though it's a fast infield.
Michael Young lays off that first pitch. If you take it even a step further, go back to Romero's last 17 starts all the way to July 21st a year ago. He's 11-2, and the Blue Jays are 15-3 in his starts. So he has been their horse, and I'd love to ride him to a W here this afternoon.
Yeah, it would mean a lot to him. Be able to beat Texas, win the series against the Rangers before you head out on a long road trip.
George Bell, my old teammate, used to always talk about getaway day. He says, we have to win on getaway day. I said, why, George? He says, so we can go happy on the bus. There's a strike. It's 3-1.
It makes that flight to California a lot shorter, doesn't it?
Boy, it sure does. And the Blue Jays won the series against Seattle 2-1, and they would love to do the same with the Rangers. That's vintage Romero right there. Fastball count, and he drops the changeup on Michael Young.
Yeah, if he starts getting that over and he gets it close enough where the Ranger batters can't recognize it and they're going to offer at it, he's going to have a good game.
Back-to-back changeup. Young strikes out. It's the first strikeout for Romero here this afternoon.
Fastball count, changeup 3-1 for strike 2, and then again, got to elevate it, keep it out of the strike zone, and he picks up his first strikeout.
Well, you know it's a good changeup when you can strike out Michael Young. He doesn't take a stride, uses his hands, and always waits back very well.
Uses the whole field. Against the Rangers, over the last couple of years, Blue Jay pitchers who are able to throw the changeup and throw it for strikes have had good games against them. Romero comes to mind a couple of years ago, opening series. Brian Talent had a very good game, and he was throwing, I would say, about 40% changeups against them down in Texas. So that might be the game plan this afternoon for Ricky.
Down and away. It's 2 balls and a strike to Mike Napoli. That cut fastball really moved late, caught the inside corner.
It's a pitch that he really developed in spring training, his ability to go inside to the right-handers, and he'll backdoor the right-handers with that and the curveball.
This is popped back. Aaron Seavey back near the screen, but it's over the screen and out of play.
That's one thing that we have seen from Romero over the last couple of years, his ability to move his breaking ball to a right-hander from the inside to the outside. He says he loves to cut that fastball backdoor to those right-handers.
Got him. Another changeup. And how about Romero? 2, 3, and 4 in the Rangers lineup. He retires them in order with 2 strikeouts. The changeup works again. Enjoying those big comfy green chairs in the TD Comfort Zone are folks from the Ontario Shores Centre for Medical Health Sciences, the TD Comfort Zone, courtesy of TD. And they're enjoying a beautiful day here at Rogers Centre with the roof wide open. Number 8 hitter, JP Arencibia starts things off against Matt Harrison. Takes a strike. Good rip to the fastball. He's behind 0-2. Mentioned JP did not play in the game last night. Jeff Mathis got the start. Mathis had a good game. He had a couple of walks, had a fielder's choice, scored 2 runs, and drove in a run.
And nursed a young pitcher through a very good lineup to get 6 innings.
Inside.
That's where Jeff Mathis' value was in last night's game.
Boy, if you look at the value of Jeff Mathis, he's really kind of been complimentary to JP Arencibia and Arencibia's improvement. Arencibia has switched gloves. He uses a glove like Mathis now, and I think Mathis and his background of coming from the Angels with so many sessions with Mike Scioscia and great concentration on his fundamentals has really helped Arencibia.
Yeah, and eventually that hitting's going to come around. Saw some glimpses of it on the road trip. He was hitting the ball hard, but just didn't have anything to show for it. And for young players, that can get very frustrating. You just have to stay within yourself and have confidence that they're going to fall.
At what point do you get enough experience under your belt not to let that affect you?
3-4 years in the big leagues where you say, you know what, I've got enough time now, and I've got enough at bats, and I've had success that those kind of things don't bother me.
For Arencibia, he had a good year last year with the production, hit home runs and drove in runs, and then you think, okay, maybe the league has caught up to me, and then you start to have some doubts. And don't get me wrong, JP Arencibia's got a lot of confidence.
Yes.
Fouls off another pitch, but sometimes, we've played a month now. Arencibia comes into this game hitting 188. And you have to really kind of think, okay, well, do I make adjustments or do I stay with my strengths? And I think that's the biggest challenge for young hitters.
Yeah, they have to know themselves. They have to have a history to fall back on. They go, oh, yeah, I remember when I went 0 for 35. This is what I did to get out of it. You have to have some of those failures to make you a better player in the future.
And that's the biggest role for the hitting coach, in my estimation, is playing that of a psychologist. Arencibia bouncing ball off Michael Young's glove. Boy, Michael Young knew he was in trouble as soon as he saw that ball hit the turf. He tried to move back and get a good angle on that last hop, but couldn't get there.
Tricky in between hop to his backhand side. Watch where he's playing. He gets down, and it's one of those in between hops, a do or die. You reach up at the ball and hope that it goes into your glove. But it bounces off the heel of the glove, and I'm sure Arencibia is going to get a base hit for that one.
Boy, he should here at home. Tricky hop. Michael Young played it perfectly. Got an angle on the ball, but it just hit off the heel of his glove. It is a base hit for Arencibia. Rajai Davis shows bunt, takes a strike.
And right away, Rajai goes to the home plate umpire and says, was that a called strike, or do you think that I bunted at that ball? It looked like he pulled it back in time.
Yeah.
Curveball, he goes out there. It looks like he pulled it back in time, but the umpire calls it that pitch across the plate. It is a strike.
Yeah, he definitely pulled the bat back. He did not make an attempt to bunt that ball. There he takes a pitch upstairs. He was batting 185. This is his 18th game. Arencibia, of course, is not a base-stealing threat, but the Blue Jays seem to be most effective offensively when they start the base runners.
They have used JP Arencibia in hit-and-run situations. You make that batter concentrate just a little bit more, put the bat on the ball, create some holes on the defense. I don't care if you feel you can't run, but you can always start that runner, be aggressive on the bases.
Somebody has to cover second, so you're going to create a big hole on the infield. Rajai Davis is making his 8th start here this afternoon. 3rd start in center field. Well, Harrison, he's used that quick pitch delivery a couple of times, and it's both been with 2 strikes.
As long as when runners are on base, he comes set for a second. They could call a balk if he's a little bit too quick going towards home with that slide step.
Davis on the ground. Kinsler to second for 1. Back to first. Not in time.
The all-new 2012 Honda CR-V. Yeah, it does that. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Beautiful blue sky. Background for the CN Tower. Davis is aboard. 1-run ball game, so you've got to keep your eye on Rajai Davis. Challenge for him is Matt Harrison. Harrison hasn't had a steal attempt against him all year. And he is quick to the plate, and he's got a deceptive move to first.
You can see why they haven't had that steal attempt, because he is quick when he just slides steps. Still gets a lot on the ball when he goes home.
Kelly Johnson batting leadoff. Big lead by Davis. Broke and didn't like his jump. Harrison unloaded that in a hurry.
Rajai's got the green light from John Farrell. So if he feels like he can steal a base, he can go at any time.
Anytime you get over 75%, you're running as a productive base runner. Rajai Davis' career is a 78% base stealer. Johnson fouls it off at the plate. Ball on the strike. Great communication here between Brian Butterfield and the first base coach, Torey Lovello. And you can see Lovello supporting Rajai Davis. Lovello carries that stopwatch in his right hand. That's to check on the release time of the pitcher. Davis has used all different types of leads in this at bat.
He got the one-way lead where he had both feet on the carpet, and now feels like he can't get that good jump, so he's trying to get a walking lead against Matt Harrison.
Kelly Johnson high and deep to right. Home run, Kelly Johnson. The threat of a steal costly for Matt Harrison.
The home run played a big part in what the Blue Jays did in yesterday's ball game, and you're right. Maybe Kelly Johnson gets more fastballs, another fastball, just with the threat of Rajai Davis over there at first base. And he gets a fastball, and he turns on it. No doubt about it, to right field.
Junel Escobar makes the first pitch strike. Only the 3rd home run that Harrison has allowed this season. Escobar goes around. That's the 5th home run the Blue Jays have hit in this series against Texas. They came into this series having allowed just 16 home runs. Michael Young can't make a play. Escobar makes a turn. He's headed for second. The ball hits off the base of the wall, and Escobar has a 1-out double.
Michael Young is having some problems over there at third base. I don't know if he's not picking the ball up. He had trouble with J.P. Ancibias, and now Escobar hits one down, but he's bounced a couple of throws over to first base already. He's a good fielder. You can see he's in position. And that one just hit a seam and stayed down on him. I can see why he's having trouble with that one. Ball just never came up for him.
So now Jose Bautista bats with a runner in scoring position. The Blue Jays have taken the lead here in the third. Bautista hit his 4th home run of the season as part of a back-to-back home run stretch for the Blue Jays in the 3rd inning. That came against Neftali Feliz.
Hanging breaking ball from Feliz. With the threat of Encarnacion behind him swinging the hot bat, they might challenge or try to challenge Bautista here.
Still not wanting to give in. Bautista still has 2 years under his belt where he was the most productive hitter in baseball. And he'll have the green light here, 3-0.
Yeah, he has to. You got a runner in scoring position, just waiting to come home.
Michael Young catches the line drive. Might have been off the end of the bat, but it was hooking away from the third baseman, and he stayed with it.
Now they're picking on Michael Young. They're finding him. This one looked like it was heading down the left field line for extra bases. But Young, a very good fielder, and he can play all over the infield. Snatches that one.
So Edwin Encarnacion with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. Throws his bat at that off-speed pitch and fouls it down the third baseline.
A little bit on that breaking ball. He just loses the handle.
Inside. We mentioned the bottom of the order getting it done for the Rangers in the second. J.P. Aronsebi had an infield hit that started the bottom of the third, and then Rajay Davis hit into a fielder's choice, but he certainly was a distraction for Matt Harrison. That may have contributed to Kelly Johnson's 6th home run of the season.
That little thing like exchanging the runners on the force out. Aronsebi out at second, Davis safe at first base. That threat of the steal maybe buys Kelly Johnson an extra fastball. He knew exactly what to do with it too.
Encarnacion will not chase those borderline pitches. Seeing the ball so well right now. As we mentioned, he's in the top of several offensive categories as far as the league leaders. Extra base hits, total bases, RBI. Off speed pitch, it's a strike.
And much better against off speed pitches this year. Seeing the ball better, hitting the ball harder. They tried to fool him, but to no avail.
Inside fastball crosses up Encarnacion. The inning is finally over, but the Blue Jays take a lead. They scored 2 runs on 3 hits. Kelly Johnson continues to drive in runs. His 6th home run has given the Jays the lead. have more ways to catch Sportsnet's live coverage of the Blue Jays. Watch the action live all season long from your smartphone. Download the Rogers Live app from your app store. And if you did, you can see those guys walking around the edge of the CN Tower.
No way.
Yeah, you would do that.
No.
I'll bet you would do that. For a big donation to the Jays Care Foundation, you would do that. If somebody were to make a donation,
you got to come with me. We'll do it together.
I might even do that if we got a nice big fat donation from some fan.
All right.
We'll go up there and wait. Maybe we could do a game from up there.
now, slow down. And I'll go out there for a little bit.
At least an open, huh? Popped in the air. Bautista's got a beat on it. The sun not an issue this inning as the crowd cover has helped out the defenders. One out. Cruz is retired. He still has just one hit in the series.
This is where Ricky's got to take it. Your team just gave you the lead here in the bottom of the third inning. Find it. Get your team back into that dugout. Put the pressure and keep that pressure on the opposition.
Yorvik Torrealba is catching here this afternoon. He swung at the first pitch and grounded to short. Back in the second. Takes a strike from Romero. Ricky Romero with a 2-1 lead here in the fourth. 0-2. It's appropriate that a fan with a Romero jersey gets a souvenir. Nice crowd on hand here this afternoon. It is school day at Rogers Center. Lots of kids in attendance. Cut out and missed. Ball is blocked in the dirt. Torrealba strikes out, and once he leaves the dirt, the umpire raises the right hand. 2 outs here in the fourth.
Change up much better the last couple of innings by Romero. If he gets that, his curveball and his fastball, getting it over, getting it close, he's going to have some high strikeout totals.
Shortstop Alberto Gonzalez, and there's one of the schools in attendance, the Bayview Middle School. Good to have you here. Isn't it interesting? Ron Washington took out David Murphy and Mitch Moreland, where Joe Madden was talking about he'd put as many left-handers in the lineup as he could get. Popped into left. Eric Thames is there. Ricky Romero gives the Blue Jays exactly what they wanted. A 1, 2, 3, 4th inning on just 7 pitches. Farm rate board. We're going to take a look at AAA Las Vegas. Yan Gomes, who's a super utility man for the Blue Jays in the minor leagues over his last 10 games. He's hit .390 with a .432 on base percentage. The OPS over 1. and his season average is .369. Gomes is 24 years old, and he's been basically a backup player throughout his minor league career. He had 13 home runs last year in Double-A and just 276 at-bats. Gomes is also interesting in that he was born in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and moved to Miami when he was 12.
He opened up some eyes in spring training. His versatility, catcher, first base, third, maybe a little outfield in his bat, and he has kept on hitting in the minor leagues. 10 doubles and 2 home runs, 13 RBIs in AAA so far.
He's a right-handed hitter that swings from an open stance, and he can swing the bat. 3-0 to Ben Francisco. Francisco singled his first time up. He'll take the walk. That's how the 4th inning starts. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. I especially like the way he hits against other teams.
Yeah. He hit some rockets against the Blue Jays in Kansas City that were atom balls, that were right at him.
He hit that triple play ball, and it was a shot to Adam Lind. Brett Lawrie rounded to third his first time up. Kansas City's got a boatload of good young players.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time before they put it all together. They were really grinding and trying to do a little bit too much, being a young team, and they were really struggling. We've seen that a couple times, excuse me, Buck, with some of the young hitters on the Blue Jays this year. Young players that really haven't been in the big leagues a long time, and they want it so bad, and they try just a little bit too hard. And next thing you know, what happens when you try too hard? It doesn't happen.
Lawrie is caught with that inside fastball. It's the 3rd strikeout for Matt Harrison. He got Encarnacion with the same pitch to end the 3rd.
Yeah, using that fastball a little bit more now, especially to the righties. Inside, cuts it a little bit, and called out. Texas pitching is very underrated, and I think it's been underrated over the last couple years. You talk to people around baseball and you say, what about Texas? And the first thing they say,
they can hit.
They can hit, but they can pitch too. Texas starters won more games last year than any team but the Phillies, and we all know what type of starting rotation the Phillies had last year.
There's a strike to Eric Thames. Yeah, you're right about the Rangers. The perception is, well, they'll just pummel you to death. This year they have a good rotation and an excellent bullpen.
Yeah, and they catch the ball, and they've got depth in that starting rotation.
Thames with a base hit. Francisco had to wait to let it pass. He's headed for third. Thames is headed for second. Eric Thames stayed on that inside pitch and drilled it into right.
Told you they've been trying to crowd him this whole series with fastballs on the inner half and then go breaking ball away. Ball that is in, and he turns on it. First base is open. Then Francisco's got to let that one go through, and he does, and he makes it easily into third base.
4th double for Eric Thames. Now 2 runners in scoring position. The Rangers will play the infield in with J.P. Arancibia at the plate. Blue Jays are up by a run. They lead 2-1. First pitch breaking ball. Not a good pitch to go after when you've got runners in scoring position on that first pitch.
And you've got the infield in. Unless you are looking for that pitch, a breaking ball, go ahead and take it.
Francisco with the leadoff walk. Thames with a 1-out double. What do you look for as a hitter in a situation like this, knowing that you've got runners in scoring position?
You know, not necessarily looking for a certain pitch. I'm just looking for the ball out over the plate. I'm looking for something that I can, do something with. Hit it back through the middle, go the other way. You start looking for certain pitches, and if it doesn't, really early in the count, and they don't throw that pitch, if you're looking for a fastball, they throw you a breaking ball, that's a hard way to hit. Best way is just look for the ball in a spot.
Drive to left field. This ball is off the wall. Francisco's in to score. Right behind him is Thames. Arancibia slides into second with a double.
JP got one in a spot right there. Swung and missed at the first curveball, the first pitch of the at-bat, and now this one he hangs. Timing much better, stays back on it and rifles it to left field. Right off the base of the wall, 2 RBIs for Arancibia, and he comes through again with runners in scoring position.
Good job by Thames against the lefty. Harrison to hit the double. Francisco with the leadoff walk, and they are cashed in by J.P. Arancibia, who now has 12 RBIs on the season.
Not bad. Making his hits count. Got the 3-run home run in Cleveland. He had that bases loaded triple here in the last homestand, and now a 2-run double.
Rajai Davis. Davis reached on a fielder's choice and scored in the third. Off the glove. Arancibia had to hold his ground. Davis will end up with an infield hit. That ball was hit right back to the pitcher, so Arancibia wasn't sure if it wasn't going to be caught. He had to play safe.
What do you have to do as a runner at second base? You got to make sure the ball gets by the pitcher before you can advance to third base. And on a line drive, your first reaction is to hold up. This one is right over the glove of Harrison, so the runner at second base, you can't take off. If he catches it, you're doubled off. And then recognizes that Kinsler's right there. If he goes when the ball gets by him, Kinsler's going to throw him out at third.
Kelly Johnson with a 2-run home run in the third.
Can't fault a base runner there.
No, not at all. You have to. There's certain things you have to stick to. Freeze on the line drive. Make the ball go through the infield before you try to advance. 2 more base runners on here in this inning. Johnson waves at that breaking pitch. Kelly Johnson now for the season has 6 home runs and 14 RBIs. Matt Harrison has given up 7 hits already. Last time out, he gave up 14 hits in 5 innings.
That was a career high 14 hits that he gave up. Last major league pitcher to allow that many hits was Mark Burley last September.
And Mark Burley has continued to have his woes as he is in his first year with the Miami Marlins. Blue Jays have Matt Harrison on the ropes here in the 4th. Kelly Johnson with his 2nd home run of the season against lefty pitching. Ball in the dirt. Full count. Difficult to start the runners in this situation. Johnson strikes out a lot.
Yeah, left on left. Matt Harrison left-handed. Kelly Johnson left-handed.
Johnson has 26 strikeouts in 23 games. Not running. Bases are loaded. Matt Harrison's run into problems here in the 4th, and with that, Scott Feldman starts to loosen up for the Rangers.
Rangers have a couple of long men, guys that can give them multiple innings out of that bullpen. Feldman, a converted starter out there. This is where the Jays need those big hits.
Escobar doubled down the left field line in the 3rd. Arancibia, Davis, Johnson, bases loaded. Way outside. Jose Bautista is on deck.
You know, Escobar, according to Dwayne Murphy, felt like he was hitting the ball a little bit too much to right field, slowing his back down. Murph would like to see him go left center to right center, not necessarily right field. And he feels like he gets inside the ball just a little bit too much. But drive the ball into the gaps in left center field, right center field. That way he can stand a little bit taller, see the ball a little bit longer.
2-0, 1 out. 3-0. Escobar looking for a Stein, but he's got to make Harrison throw a strike.
Yeah.
Don't want to chase here.
Not with the guy we saw on deck, Jose Bautista. Harrison's been trying to turn that fastball over the last couple of pitches, trying to get Escobar to roll over on one of them.
Taking all the way, and it's a strike.
That was the straight four-seam fastball. Here it is.
Now Escobar has got to be thinking about doing some damage.
Yeah.
Think about a pitch you can drive.
Discipline enough that if he throws it where you're looking for it, you swing at it. If not, discipline, stay off of it.
Good hack, but he's a bit late. Now it's a full count. Harrison's continuing to try to pound the inside part of the plate to Escobar.
Escobar asking the umpire, was that a strike? And he got a yes. Got to challenge him here, doesn't he?
He's got to come right after him. Even though the bases are loaded, you got Bautista on deck. 3-2. Driven toward the gap in right field. That is not going to be caught up against the wall. One run is in. Davis is right behind him. Here comes Kelly Johnson, and Escobar will end up at third. A bases clearing triple for Yunel Escobar.
That's the swing that Dwayne Murphy was looking for from the Blue Jay shortstop. Not right field, right center field, left center field. That's where you drive the ball. That's where you get your RBIs, and it's a textbook swing from Escobar. Pitch that's down and away, and he drives that ball hard. Doesn't try to service that ball over to right field. Aggressively takes it to right center field. 3 RBIs for Escobar. He now has 11, and Ron Washington makes the walk out to the mound.
Matt Harrison, for a second consecutive start, has had to leave early. Blue Jays lead 7-1. And Escobar for the first time this season, top of the order. All they've done so far, 3 for 5 with 5 RBI.
Yeah. Touch of magic right there. Throw a left-hander out there, you flip-flop him, and it works out nicely. Home run, a double, and a triple, and a walk. 3 runs scored so far, so they have to go to the bullpen, and it's Scott Feldman. 4 games this year, and there's Feldman's numbers, 2.7 earned run average. He doesn't have a record. He was a starter for the Rangers just a couple of years ago. That was back in 2009. He made 31 starts for him, won 17 games for the Rangers. They have moved him into the bullpen the last couple of years. The long man out of the pen. Throws from 3/4 angles. He got a split finger fastball, a sinking fastball, a little bit of a breaking ball. And he has pitched against the Blue Jays. They have seen him before. 4 starts against Toronto in his career.
Blue Jays coming into this game at a 5-3 record against left-handed starters. So Bautista will bat. Escobar is at third, still 1 out. Infield is drawn in. First pitch strike from Feldman. Bautista is the 8th Blue Jays to hit here this inning. Breaking ball bounced in the dirt. Pat mentioned that Feldman had been a starter, and because of that, some of the Blue Jays have a lot of at-bats against him. Bautista is 5 for 11 with a home run. Inside off the plate.
Runs that fastball in on the right-handers. Change up to the lefties. Ricky is sitting over there saying, just keep pouring it on, boys.
Bautista drives it to center. That should score Escobar. Gentry is there. Escobar tags, and he'll jog in with the 8th Blue Jay run. Bautista picks up the RBI on the sac fly.
Everybody's been saying, what's wrong with Jose? What's wrong with Jose? But you still see the bat speed. Feldman tried to sneak a ball on the inside part of the plate, and Bautista just missed it. Concentrating on just getting the ball to the outfield. He does that to pick up the RBI.
The Jays have scored 6 runs in this inning, and you can go back to Ricky Romero's 1, 2, 3, 4th inning on 7 pitches. The Blue Jays scored 2 runs in the 3rd. They got right back on offense because Romero did his job.
Momentum. Keep it over there on that third base side.
Edwin Encarnacion, the 9th batter to hit this inning. Two and 1. Fouls it off the catcher. 8 runs on 8 hits for the Blue Jays. And they've spread it out. Kelly Johnson with a pair of RBIs. Escobar has 3. Bautista has 1. And Aaron Sebia has driven in a pair. Popped into center field. Gentry cruising to his left. Wind is pushing it away from him. But the Blue Jays bat around, and they score 6 runs in the bottom of the 4th. Now for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn in the Blackberry Broadcast Studio. left-hander had a rough day here at Rogers Center. He just goes 3 1/3, gives up 8 hits, 8 earned runs, a couple of walks, and 3 strikeouts. Look at his career earned run average against the Blue Jays. This has been a tough team for him, as they have had his number. Kobe Rasmus comes on to play defense in center, taking over for Rajay Davis, and I've got to believe that has something to do with Davis injuring his wrist on Sunday. Rajay Davis came in as a pinch runner in the 8th inning and got hit by a pickoff throw from the catcher. Got hit on the wrist, and his wrist was sore and swollen, so maybe that's flared up on him a bit.
Took the x-rays and they were negative, and he was saying it was still a little bit sore the other day.
Brandon Snyder hit his first big league home run in the 2nd inning. Ricky Romero with a 8-1 lead. That's that backdoor cutter Romero has tried to refine against right-handed hitters.
He'll use it versus the righties. He'll also bust it in on you to break your bat if you need be.
3-1. A leadoff walk here in the 5th.
The all-new 2012 Honda CR-V. Yeah, it does that. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
The Blue Jays enjoying a 6-run 4th inning here this afternoon. They had a 4-run 3rd inning and a 3-run 7th inning in the game last night. Craig Gentry takes the ball downstairs. Gentry with a single in his first at bat. That evens the count at a ball and a strike.
One thing you always have with Romero on the mound, if he walks that guy or he gets a couple of base runners on, he's got that ground ball to fly ball ratio, which is outstanding. It's 8th in the American League. Always has the ability to get the ball on the ground.
Since 2009, Romero has induced 87 ground ball double plays. That's the most in the major leagues.
And he can do it with multiple pitches. Change up, obviously. His curveball that he can get guys out in front on. Cuts the ball, sinks the ball. Yeah, Blue Jays have done a very good job this year. Ground ball percentage this season, the best in the American League. And there are the 30 double plays from it.
Again, Romero falls behind at 3-1. Back-to-back walks here in the 5th. The 8 and 9 hitters have been on base all 4 times they've come to the plate.
A couple of walks and a couple of hits. What about the long inning that the Blue Jays had in the bottom of the 4th inning?
Possibly causing him some problems. He had a very good 4th inning. He had a 7-pitch 4th inning as he retired the side in order, and then sat and watched as his team scored 6 runs. So now Bruce Walton out to remind Ricky Romero of those points to get him back in the zone.
Yeah, and there are certain points for every pitcher. Little buzzwords, if you will, that pitching coaches will use. Stay on your backside. Make sure you get your arm up. Your arm swing isn't good. I mean, there's hundreds of sayings that they can say to him. And Bruce Walton knows them all and knows his pitchers better than anybody on this team.
And he's got a different glossary for every pitcher. Quick in the back. Stay balanced over the rubber. Break your hands before you go forward. Everybody has a little catchphrase that's their trigger.
Yeah, it just buzz you and get you back into that positive frame of mind.
Top of the order, Ian Kinsler. Kinsler has gone 0 for 2 so far. Let me tell you something. This Ranger team is never out of a ball game.
They don't panic. It's like Tampa Bay. When you watch Tampa Bay, when they hit, there's no panic in their game.
That's a good comparison, and obviously Tampa Bay doesn't have the thunder of the Rangers, but they fight each other very, very well. Ron Washington has the ultimate respect for the way Tampa Bay plays, and they've had some good playoff matchups the last couple of years.
Ron Washington is the perfect guy to lead this team. First day of spring training after they lost a tough World Series. They had it won twice. He said, does anybody have anything to say about last season? And some of the players had something to say, and he goes, okay, that's the last of it. We're going to talk about last year. This is all about 2012.
Yeah, Washington wasn't really sure how his players are going to answer that question, but several of the veteran players stood up and said, last year was last year. He said, okay, you got it.
Yep.
End of meeting.
Yep, that's it. And this is this year. You got a long way to go in the season.
3 walks in a row, and the Rangers have loaded the bases with nobody out here in the 5th. Obviously, that long half inning in the bottom of the 4th creating problems, and they're starting to stir down in the Blue Jays bullpen.
Well, now Ricky Romero can go back into the windup. Forget about the base runners that are on there. He's out of the stretch. He's back into the windup. See if that can help him.
Elvis Andrus makes a pitch up and away. Driven into center. Rasmus getting back. It's over his head. 1 run is in. Here comes Gentry around third. He's going to score. Kinsler will stop at third. And the Rangers are on the board. Elvis Andrus drives the ball over Rasmus's head into center field and picks up a pair of RBI.
Andrus, different player that we saw last year. He's bigger this year. He's got more power. He powers this ball, and I think it fools Colby Rasmus in center field. Ball hit hard, and it takes off on him. And it's over his head. Couple of runs scored, and those leadoff walks, both of them. The first 2 have come around to score.
Michael Young with runners at second and third. Still nobody out. First pitch strike. Veteran team like the Rangers, they'll get down early and just keep plugging away. They have the mindset that you don't have to get them all back in 1 inning.
Yeah, take what the pitcher gives you.
Texas got out to a 1-0 lead on a solo home run by Brandon Snyder, and then they took advantage of 3 consecutive walks and a double by Elvis Andrus here in the 5th.
To navigate your way now through this inning, those guys aren't even on base. You are concentrating on Michael Young.
Broken bat, little looper. That's a base hit. Kinsler comes in to score. Andrews stops at third. Young with a little flare, barely was beyond the infield into right.
Sounded like he broke his bat. Looked like a ball that is down right off the end of the bat. Yeah, he certainly did. He's going to get an RBI for this. No strike, good 2-strike approach by Young. Just out of the reach of Encarnacion and Johnson.
Still nobody out. Runners at the corners. The only thing that I can think of is that long delay after Romero was in such a groove. He retired 7 in a row with a 1, 2, 3, 4th inning, and then walked 3 straight batters.
3 of those by strikeouts.
This is popped in the air. Rasmus retreats. Andrews tagging at third. He'll come in to score. Young will hold his ground at first. And it's an 8-5 game. Napoli picks up the RBI, his 15th of the season. Romero was sitting on the Blue Jays dugout bench for 22 minutes as his team scored 6 runs in the bottom of the 4th. Don't know how much of a factor that was, but it certainly seemed to have an impact.
Yeah, when you come out and you walk the first 3 guys of an inning, you just lose that release point. You lose a little bit of that rhythm that you picked up in the middle innings. This is where you got to make those adjustments and find it. Make some pitches.
Two 2-0. Nelson Cruz hops this one up. The wind is messing with that baseball. Thames moves underneath, and Cruz is retired. That's the 2nd out of the inning. Ricky Romero has thrown 25 pitches in this inning, 16 of them for balls. That led to the 3 straight walks to start the inning, but that comes on the heels of a 7-pitch, 3 up, 3 down, 4th inning.
Yeah, that was going to get him deep into the game. That 3rd and 4th inning very quickly through the order. This is the equalizer right here.
Yorvit Torrealba, the catcher here this afternoon, has gone 0 for 2. On the ground, Laurie waits for it, goes to second for the force out, and the inning has finally come to an end. But the Rangers send 8 men to the plate in the 5th, and they score 4 runs. It's a ball game, 8-5 Blue Jays. Here at Rogers Center beginning May 14th and 15th. That'll be the Tampa Bay Rays. And then how about this? Back-to-back New York teams. The Yankees are in town for a 2-game series. And then interleague play. The Mets will follow in the Yankees. May 18th, 19th, and 20th. Great home schedule next time the Blue Jays are back in town. So make sure you call the Blue Jays at 416-341-1234. Log on to BlueJays.com or stop by most Rogers Plus location. Then pick up your Blue Jays tickets for that great homestand. Tampa Bay, the Yankees, and the Mets. Chris Walden. A bit of encouragement for Ricky Romero. Ben Francisco making his 5th start as the DH. He's been on base twice. He singled and walked. He got that 4th inning started with a leadoff walk. Feldman bounces that well in front of home. A couple of heavyweights going at it here today. The Blue Jays and the Rangers, and both teams swinging the bats.
Jays now 4 out of 5 games where they have scored at least 7 runs on this homestand. So a little home cooking got the bats going for Toronto.
Well, after being shut down by the Orioles in that 3-game series in which they were swept, they came back home and the bats came to life. Francisco bounces it to short. Gonzalez throws him out. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. A bit more cloud cover over Rogers Center here this afternoon. Brilliant sun when we started just after 12:30. Way outside. Brett Lawrie has a big following here. A lot of young fans, and that's one thing I've noted about the fan base this year. It seems to be a much younger fan base, and you got to believe that younger players, Lawrie, Aaron Sevilla, Romero, that they have all created the interest among the younger fans.
Brett was out here earlier this homestand. It came out about 45 minutes before the game, talking to some fans, and all of a sudden was swamped by everybody. We're looking for autographs and pictures and just being a part of him down on the field. And he was real good with all fans too.
A lot of it has to do with their involvement with the social media. Everybody knows that Blue Jays players are really into Twitter, and the fans have connected with them. On the outside corner. Lawrie thought it was outside, and he'll pack his lumber back to the bench. He's been called out twice here this afternoon.
Yeah, once on the inside corner and now on the outside corner. Feldman backs up that fastball, and Brett Lawrie says that's twice. You can see it's high enough. I think he thought that ball was outside.
Thames bounces it foul. Eric Thames had a big hit his last time up. A one-out double. Pushed the Blue Jays into a 2nd and 3rd and 1-out situation, and then that's when they really kicked the door open against Matt Harrison.
That's what set up the whole inning, I thought. The double by Thames off of the left-hander.
Thames' average sits at 296. Here's a good example of a young player. You were talking about young players pressing a bit, not having the track record to lean on for experience. He really was down on himself early in the season, wasn't swinging the bat, and then To make things worse, he had that ball deflect off his glove off the bat of Matt Wieters in a 2-1 win for the Orioles, and he was really tough on himself. But he'll take a walk here. The coaching staff really helped him with that.
They certainly did. Talked him through it, and a month from now you're not even going to be worried about that. I don't sense that from those young players now that they have gotten home and they've gotten some extra batting practice and they've gotten some one-on-one instruction. And you feel as you watch them take their BP and you watch them take their at-bats in the games that much more confident.
J.P. Aronsebi has a pair of hits. He's also driven in 2. And a big 2-run double in his last at bat. Aronsebi's average is just .212, but he has 12 RBIs. Only A.J. Pierzynski and Matt Wieters have more RBIs as catchers in the American League.
Production, that's what you want.
He's got more RBI than Joe Mauer, Carlos Santana, Jared Saltalamacchia, and even the Tigers' great catcher Alex Avila. Yeah, I don't care about batting average from my catcher. I don't care if he gets on a lot, just do some damage. And so far, Aronsebi's been able to do that.
Make him count. 14 hits, 12 RBIs for JP, and he's handling the pitching staff, throwing much better.
Aronsebi is in a hole 0-2. Off the plate outside. Scott Feldman came into the ball game with 1 out in the 4th inning. They got Bautista to fly to center. That was a sac fly, and then Encarnacion to fly to center. That ended the inning.
He's a valuable guy to have down in your bullpen. Give you 3-4 innings if you need be.
He bounces that breaking ball. The bullpen has probably been the most dramatic improvement in this Texas ball club this year. They lead the American League with they're second in the American League behind Baltimore. And those two teams, you talk about changing the personality of your bullpen, they did it overnight.
That's the biggest difference between Baltimore last year and this year. Texas, how deep are they? They take their closer from last year and put him in the rotation.
Also made a great free agent sign in picking up Joe Nathan. He's now the closer. Ogando is back in the bullpen, and Joe Nathan is healthy. He's 37 years old, but man, is he throwing the ball well.
Like he did when he was with Minnesota.
He's a year further removed from Tommy John surgery. He had that in 2010. Bullpens are pretty fluid. You can change them overnight. We saw that 2 years ago with Tampa Bay. They lost 8 relievers and came back and had a totally rebuilt bullpen.
And you never know what you're going to get from year to year if you turn over your bullpen. You know, on paper, it can look really good, your bullpen, and all of a sudden you start playing games and they get lit up. And you say, I thought I fixed that problem.
Well, that happened with the Blue Jays. As soon as they lost Sergio Santos, it changed the personality of their ball club dramatically. Everybody had to move up a rung in the depth chart. Full count, 2 outs. Thames on the move. Aronsebi squibs it off the end of the bat. Feldman will tag Aronsebi out. That's the 3rd out of the inning. So we have played 5 complete here at Rogers Center. Blue Jays enjoying a 3-run lead. And NBA playoffs tonight on Sportsnet 1, the Indiana Pacers against the Orlando Magic. It all starts at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 4:30 p.m. Pacific. And then the LA Clippers against Memphis tonight. It starts at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 7 p.m. Pacific Time. The NBA playoffs, and it's all on Sportsnet 1.
Blake Griffin. Had a chance to watch him.
That's the way you used to jump when you played hoops, right?
Yeah.
Not like that.
Well, you knew that.
I knew that.
Could dunk with my elbows.
Right over the car.
Well, I don't know about that.
Ricky Romero. This is with the first pitch. It's 7-8-9 in the Rangers' order. Gonzalez playing shortstop today. And giving Elvis Andrus the day off. There's a strike. Blue Jays now have extended that streak for their starting pitchers to 27 straight games with 5 innings or more. This is popped up. Catcher Aaron Sebia takes the mask off. He drifts into fair territory, and that's the first out of the 6th.
Always makes it easier when you get that first guy in the inning.
Brandon Snyder will bat with 1 out, and he had a milestone home run back in the 2nd.
Pulls his hands in, gets the barrel of the bat, and hits a line drive over the fence in center field for his first big league home run. Got the Rangers off in the 2nd inning with their first run of the game.
Snyder's 25 years old. As we mentioned earlier, he's a former #1 pick of the Baltimore Orioles. Romero has thrown only 4 first pitch strikes to the last 16 batters, and that really got him into trouble. It will any pitcher. I don't care who you are. You constantly work behind the big league hitters, and they're going to catch up to you. That breaking ball, Snyder chases it.
You know, it changes the whole approach at the plate. Changes your whole approach on the mound also. 1-0 as a hitter, or you start eliminating pitches and you're eliminating spots to look for. And if he doesn't throw it there, you take it. A little bit more antsy. 0-1 as a hitter, you become defensive.
And Snyder strikes out. That's 2 outs to start the 6th inning.
Snyder arguing that he foul tipped this ball. Looked like the curve ball, and it did hit the ground, but it didn't look like he foul tipped it.
Just the 4th strikeout for Ricky Romero. There's a first pitch strike. Craig Gentry's been on base twice. Gentry filling in for Josh Hamilton, who's dealing with a back issue. Hamilton more than likely will be in the lineup on Friday night. Texas will continue this road trip. They'll have an off day tomorrow in Cleveland and play the Indians for 3 before they move into Baltimore for a 4-game series.
Well, he just lengthens the lineup when Josh Hamilton is in there and Adrian Beltre is in there. Did you see the Hamilton injury? He swung and he was on base. It didn't look like it was much, but he got taken right out of the game. And then they had the 3-hour plane ride here to Toronto. They got on at 5:30 in the morning.
And he's had a history of various injuries, leg problems, broken shoulder last year. And he plays the game hard. And he will create problems for himself. But Romero 2-2 tapped out in front of home plate. Aaron Sebia gets on it and throws out Gentry. Ricky Romero has a 1-2-3 6th inning. Kobe Erasmus will bat for a first time. He came on defensively for Davis. Then back to the top of the order. Johnson and Escobar have had a great day at the plate. It's school day here at Rogers Center with the afternoon game. 25,123 in attendance, and a lot of schools are represented, and they brought their signs along to root for the home team. It's always a good atmosphere when you get kids in the ballpark and they're having a good day, and they've been entertained to quite an offensive performance by both clubs. Colby Rasmus batting for the first time this afternoon, came into the game defensively, taking over for Rajay Davis. Rasmus batting .229 for the season, but he, like Aaron Seavey, has been productive. He's got 11 RBIs for the season. Had a 2-home run game in Kansas City against the Royals.
He's hit some balls hard that have also been caught with runners on base. He looks like a different type of player.
Well, it seems to be much more comfortable after spending an entire spring training with the team. He is truly part of this team now, and you really saw that last night in the celebration after the Brett Lawrie walk-off home run. Rasmus was right in the middle of the celebration.
Letting the personality come out. Getting all over Lawrie for his home run.
Lays off that high pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
When a guy feels comfortable playing this game, that's when you're going to get the most production. You can just talk to Colby Rasmus now, and he says he is very happy. He's in a good place. Really likes his teammates, loves the city. Has a lot of good things to say about the coaching staff. He has worked hard with Torey Lovello and Dwayne Murphy. So his production is going to be good.
3-2 to Rasmus. He cuts and misses. He strikes out. That starts the bottom of the 6th. John Farrell flip-flopped Kelly Johnson and Yunel Escobar in the 1-2 spot in the order, and it has paid off quick dividends here this afternoon.
How about this? A home run, a double, a triple. They're looking for a single to hit for the cycle. Just that one move up and back. You get a little bit different view from where you're at. Your approach might be a little bit different. These two have scored 3 runs already this afternoon.
A little bit of irony in Yunel Escobar's splits for batting first and second. He's at .289 in the first spot and .289 in the second spot.
I think bunching all the right-handed batters had something to do with that this afternoon against the left-hander. Escobar, Bautista, Encarnacion, Francisco, on, and you keep the left-hander Kelly Johnson, put him up at the top, bunch all the righties.
He just popped up on the infield. Michael Young dealing with the wind. He's called off by the shortstop, Alberto Gonzalez. Johnson's retired. 5 right-handed batters in a row, and that was really productive, and they certainly cashed in on stacking their order. You know, Escobar's had a good day at the plate. He has a double and a triple. He's driven in 3.
His approach at the plate might be a little bit more conducive for RBI spots also. Escobar, he's hit well with runners in scoring position. He puts up good at bats when there are guys on base.
He has the ability to really work a pitcher over. He doesn't have a lot of wild swings, and he'll get 4 and 5 pitches during an at bat.
You know, that's the thing. He works him over. At times he'll swing at pitches out of the strike zone when he's a little bit over aggressive, but he'll see a lot of pitches. Doesn't strike out a whole lot.
There's his bat. It's off the glove of Napoli, and Escobar will reach. Escobar has a 3-hit day.
There's the single for the cycle between the first two batters in the Blue Jay lineup. Mike Napoli, I think, got crossed up on this ball. Inside out swing by Escobar, and he broke towards the bag at first base and then had second thoughts about possibly going after that ball. Watch him over there at first. Ball's hit. He's going to go to first. He says, you know what? I need to make that play, and he just can't get back in time to knock it down.
Napoli's first start at first base in this series. But you're right. It looked like he made a step toward the bag and then realized he was the guy that was going to have to make that play. Bautista with an RBI on a sac fly. Eight 5 Blue Jays. Bautista was the first batter Feldman faced when he came into the ball game back in the fourth, and Jose hit a deep fly ball to center. Just off the outside corner, 3-1.
Got a good movement on his pitches. Feldman, when he was a starter, he didn't give up a whole lot of home runs. Gave up just, for Texas last year, just gave up 3 home runs. He hasn't been taken deep this year. Got that good power sinker.
And Bautista will lay off that low pitch. Brandon Morrow will open up things against the Angels tomorrow night. West Coast swing, a 9 games through Anaheim, Oakland, and Minnesota. Morrow will take on the Angels. It all starts at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. That's 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. The Blue Jays first of 4 against the Angels.
Matched up against Dan Herron tomorrow. Morrow was good in his last start.
Morrow's got a 3.03 earned run average. He's 2-1 on the season. Edwin Encarnacion looking for his first hit of the afternoon. He's gone 0 for 3. High and deep, and you can forget about this one. There's his first hit. A 3-run homer.
Just got finished telling you that it's tough to take Feldman deep because he power sinkers that ball down the lower part of the strike zone. But when you're as hot as Edwin Encarnacion is right now, it doesn't matter. This ball is elevated. They wanted it down and away, and it's up about belt high, and Edwin jumps all over it. What a home series.
And Ben Francisco picks up his second hit of the afternoon. The Jays have hit 6 home runs in the 3 games against Texas. And after missing out yesterday in hitting a home run, Encarnacion goes deep again today. That's number 9 for Edwin.
24 ribbies now for Encarnacion.
Francisco at first, 2 outs. Brett Lawrie's gone 0 for 3. Nothing like a good old dose of home cooking to get the bats going again.
That's the feeling you get from the Jays when they came off that road trip from Baltimore. Struggling a little bit offensively. Then you get home and you get a chance to work one-on-one with the hitting coach. You go down to that cage. You come out early. The Jays have been out early this whole homestand, getting some extra swings, and it's paid off.
With his 9th home run, Edwin Encarnacion has moved into a tie with Curtis Granderson and Josh Hamilton atop the American League for first place. He is 1 RBI behind Hamilton for the American League lead. He is the American League leader with 17 extra base hits. He is 2 ahead of Ian Kinsler and Nick Swisher. Also, Ortiz has 15. So he is on the leaderboard all over the place in the American League offensive leaders. And just for good measure, he's hitting .320.
That's the thing. He has made a start at third base. He's made some starts at first base. They've had him take fly balls in the outfield. Ricky Romero enjoying the 11 runs so far.
Broken bat, grounded to short. Alberto Gonzalez will throw out Brett Laurie. The inning comes to an end, but the Blue Jays tack on 3 more. And it comes with 2 outs. Edwin Encarnacion, his 9th homer of the season. It's 11-5 Jays. The Super Camps are back this summer. They're presented by Baseball Canada and Little League Canada. Fun will take place in Moncton, New Brunswick, August 9th, 10th, and 11th at Kiwanis Park. The instructors include Jesse Barfield, Jose Cruz Jr., Otto Velez, and Dwayne Ward. Visit BlueJays.com/Baseball Academy. For more information, Blue Jays are proud supporters of amateur baseball across Canada. Ricky Romero out for the 7th inning, throws a first pitch strike to Ian Kinsler. As we have seen this season, Ricky Romero had 1 bad inning. Today it came in the 5th. Kinsler grounds to the shortstop. Edwin Encarnacion, his 3-run home run, 9th of the season. Last year, Edwin's 9th home run came on July 31st. So I would say he's off to a little better start this year. April 2nd for his 9th home run.
July 31st, almost August.
Yeah, he has really done a great job. And you talked about it yesterday, how Edwin's second half of last season, he was a very productive hitter. John Farrell made a point in spring training. He said, I'd like to see Encarnacion get off to a great start, because traditionally that hasn't been the case. But boy, he's off to a terrific start this year.
Just verifies what he did in the second half last year.
Kelly Johnson can't make the backhanded play. Elvis Andrus. I thought that was going to be a base hit. They give Kelly Johnson an air. That wasn't that easy a play.
Yeah.
That certainly wasn't a routine play.
No. If a player's got to go a long way and he's got a backhand the ball, I mean, look how he is stretched out. He's got to bend over. That is not an easy play for a second baseman to make, even if he comes up with it. No guarantee that he's going to throw out Andrews at first base.
Yeah, I have a hard time accepting that that's an error.
I'm not writing anything in just yet. I'm holding off.
I've got white out. One out. Andrews at first. Michael Young has a couple of hits this afternoon. That ball goes right off the glove of Aaron Sebia. And that is a pass ball charged to JP. Andrews moves into second, but more importantly, moves out of a double play situation.
Yeah, and you've got one of the best in baseball. And Romero, that time, the ball really handcuffed Aaron Sebia. Blue Jays keep stats about dropped balls and balls that are blocked by catchers. JP doing a much better job this year blocking and catching those tough pitches.
Michael Young grounds it. Almost the same play. This time Johnson gets in front of it and makes the play. 2 outs here in the 7th. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Wandy Rodriguez pitching for the Astros. That's the first home run for Chris Johnson this year. 2 outs. Mike Napoli. So to pitch up and away. Ricky Romero trying to complete 7 innings here this afternoon. And he will. Line to the third baseman. Napoli hit it hard, but right at Brett Lorry. Rangers leave another base runner. Blue Jays out in front by 6. Action this season than your very own reserve seat here at Rogers Center. Great seats are still available. You can call the Blue Jays at 416-341-1234 to select your season tickets, or you can log on to BlueJays.com. Great atmosphere here this afternoon. 22,000 on hand, 25,000 on hand to watch the Blue Jays. And they would love to be able to take the series against the Rangers. We'll pitcher for Texas will be the right-hander Mark Lowe. Scott Feldman goes 2 2/3, and now Lowe will come on to work the bottom of the 7th.
Now in his 6th year in the big leagues, 2nd with the Texas Rangers. He came up with the Seattle Mariners, and Texas acquired his arm as part of that Cliff Lee deal. Lee came over to Texas with Mark Lowe. He's got a good fastball, power slider, a little bit of a curveball, a soft curve. But they've got a lot of arms like Mark Lowe down in that bullpen. Good numbers all the way around. He had a 150 earned run average, 10.5 strikeouts per 9 innings. He's got a good arm.
Eric Thames has gone 1 for 2 with the walk. Inside off the plate. Yu Darvish held the Blue Jays in check in the opener on Monday night. With him starting, the Blue Jays managed just 1 run on 4 hits. Darvish 4 hits over 7 innings, and he struck out 9. Then the Blue Jays got to Neftali Feliz. He went 5 plus 2 batters. 6 walks really led to his undoing. And then Matt Harrison was out of the game after 3 1/3.
The walks and the home runs got the Blue Jays back into the game.
And Squibber up the third baseline. It spins into foul ground.
Yesterday, a couple of walks to the 8 and 9 batters for the Blue Jays. And then the 3-run home run by Kelly Johnson. Bautista followed that up, and pretty soon 5-0 became 5-4.
Tell you what, that was a real character game for the Blue Jays. They were down after an inning and a half, 5-0. And you could say, well, Texas Rangers, they're in town, they're red hot, but Blue Jays wouldn't have any of it. Kelly Johnson sparked that 4-run 3rd inning, and Blue Jays were right back in it. Thames off the glove of Napoli. Lowe gets to the bag in time to retire Eric Thames. Thames hit it hard. It went off the glove of Napoli, but he stayed with it to make the play.
Boy, he hit that ball hard. Hooked it right at the first baseman. Off the backhand and didn't give up. You're right, stayed with it, and then made a good throw to Lowe, who was moving towards the bag. Leads him perfectly. Catches it and finds the bag. Eric Thames hit a ball like that got by the first baseman. His 2nd time up, it turned out to be a double.
J.P. Arencibia had a couple of hits today, including a big 2-run double in the 4th. Thames talking to Kelly Johnson about Lowe.
Passing on some information to another left-handed batter.
Arencibia, a 209 average. There's Yu Darvish, who opened up the series, and he was impressive. 7 innings of 4-hit ball. But the Blue Jays are within striking distance of winning the series.
I like what I saw from Yu Darvish the other day. Free and easy. Lots of pitches.
Outside, 2-2. Yeah, Darvish was really impressive, and he won 4 games in the month of April for a rookie. Just a few pitchers have been able to do that over the years.
Scout told me the other day, and he has watched like 3 of his starts already, that by the middle of the season he's going to be their #1 pitcher. That's how talented he is.
Certainly pitched like a #1 here on Monday night. Kyle Drabek matched him pitch for pitch. Drabek went 6 innings. He had a career high 8 strikeouts in his performance. And it was a 2-1 game when Drabek left the game after 6. And see, a big bouncing ball to third. Michael Young throws him out. Michael Young's had a busy day down at third.
He had a couple of line drive to him early in the game. He must have felt like they were picking on him.
With the left-hander in the game, Matt Harrison started the game. A lot of the right-handed hitters pulled hot shots down to third. Colby Rasmus will bat for a second time. He struck out in his only at bat, leading off the sixth. Joel Carreño, in case you've just tuned in, Carreño has been recalled from AAA Las Vegas. Evan Crawford was sent back to AAA, and Carreño is going to work out of the bullpen. Inside.
Just over 100 pitches for Ricky Romero. So John Farrell maybe stretching out his starter today. See if we can get a couple of more batters.
Up and away, it's 2-1. We'd mentioned Yu Darvish went 4-0 in April. He's one of only 5 other rookies to go 4-0 or better in the month of April. Jerry Koosman did it for the Mets in '68. Jerry Garvin for the Blue Jays in '77. Fernando Valenzuela went 5-0 in '81. Mike Grace in '96 for the Phillies went 4-0, and Kaz Ishii for the Dodgers went 5-0 in 2002, his rookie season. Pretty impressive list. Jerry Garvin, that was the expansion year for the Blue Jays. He went 4-0 as a rookie. Colby Rasmus hits it to left field. Brandon Snyder is there, and the Blue Jays are retired in the 7th. Ricky Romero looks like he's going back to work in the 8th. The Farm Report. This time we're going to take a look at a couple of young pitchers that are pitching very well in AAA, working out of the bullpen. Chad Beck has done a good job. Beck in 9 games has held the opponents to a 1.74 ERA with a whip under 1. And Robert Coelho, big splitting fastball that has been very effective. You can see he has 16 strikeouts in 12 innings, and the bullpen in Las Vegas has got some arms.
Both of them hard throwers. Beck's got a 2-seam fastball. He can really sink the ball. He doesn't have the strikeouts like Coelho has. Just 4 strikeouts in 10 innings for Beck. You mentioned the 16 with that good splitter. Some power arms down in the bullpen. I heard that the Ryoto Igarashi hit 99 on the radar gun the other day down in Las Vegas. That's a player they just picked up from Pittsburgh right at the end of spring training.
Igarashi has a 1.59 ERA, which speaks volumes when you think about the PCL being a hitter's league. Ricky Romero is back out for the 8th inning. Nelson Cruz has gone 1 for 12 in this series. Romero bounces the ball. It's a ball and a strike. Romero's thrown just 103 pitches. But I think they'd like to have him leave on a good note. Real strong inning here in the 8th. Bouncing ball to the shortstop. Cruz is retired.
That's a good start right there. Tendency, your #1 guy, you can push him just a little bit longer. They've got an off day coming up after the series in Los Angeles. So Romero will get an extra day of rest.
So the catcher making his start here this afternoon. First time that Torriello has played in the series. He came on as a pinch hitter in the game last night, but he started behind the plate this afternoon. After this game this afternoon, Blue Jays will jump on a plane and fly west to Anaheim. We begin a 9-game road trip with 4 against the Angels. Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon. Morrow, Alvarez, Drabek, and Hutchison will be the starters for the Blue Jays. They'll be opposed by Dan Herron, Irvin Santana, C.J. Wilson, and Jerome Williams. Williams coming off a complete game win. No Jared Weaver. That's always a good thing.
He was dealing.
Then the Blue Jays will have an off day on the 7th of May. That will take place in San Francisco before a short 2-game series against the A's. There's a strike. It's a full count.
And then it's on to Minnesota for a series before they get back here for a homestand.
Minnesota just 6-17 for the season. How about that? Ricky Romero came all the way back and struck out Torriello.
3-1 changeup, 3-2 changeup after falling behind 3-0. Just his 5th strikeout of the afternoon. That was a beauty right there. 3-2 changeup.
5 strikeouts now for Romero. Blue Jays have finally figured out Alberto Gonzalez. Gonzalez had a good series. Came in and got a couple of big hits in yesterday's game. 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run scored. But today he's gone over. Ball in the strike. Goes after that breaking ball. I mentioned it was a 9-game trip. It's actually a 10-game trip. 2 4-game series. 4 games in Anaheim, 4 games in Minnesota.
Yeah, booked in that road trip with 4 gamers.
Ricky Romero with a very good 8th inning. 1, 2, 3, 8th inning with a pair of strikeouts. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn from the Blackberry Broadcast Studio. Congratulations from John Farrell and his pitching coach, Bruce Walton. Romero looking to move to 4-0 on the season. And other than that 4-run fifth inning, Romero was dominant.
Yeah, he was using his changeup. Finished on a strong note, striking out the last two batters he faced, Torrialbo and Gonzalez. It's always a good sign. His season high in pitches, 117 last time out. He came close to that today. So you can push him a little bit farther than the other young pitchers. Romero just that one bad inning. He'll give way to Koji Uehara in 7 games. There are his numbers. Look at that, 182, 143 versus the righties and the lefties. Good fastball. A good split. And it's a guy who just doesn't walk anybody. He is going to be around the plate.
Torrialbo got rocked to his heels. He took that foul tip squarely in the mask.
Looked like a tumbling splitter. Now straight back.
Uehara has rediscovered that split finger pitch. He came over to the Rangers in a deal last July 30th at the trade deadline to bolster their bullpen. Uehara came to the Baltimore Orioles as a free agent from Japan in 2009. He was a starting pitcher for his career in Japan, but just made 12 starts and really physically never held up to the rigors of starting.
A lot of leg problems when he was with the Orioles. Really nothing wrong with his arm. A lot of hamstring problems that would put him on the DL. But out of the bullpen, he's been sensational. Again, doesn't walk anybody. In fact, he hasn't walked a batter yet this year.
Ricky Romero looking to go to 4-0 on the season, and you look at his line and say, well, 8 innings, 6 hits, 5 earned runs. Well, 4 of those runs came in the 5th inning. And for Romero, his 12 of 36 first pitch strikes, and that's where he really ran into problems. 114 pitches. That's a season high for Romero, but he's in line for the W. His ERA went up from 3.18 to 3.64. But he will certainly be pleased with a 4-0 record.
Yeah, pitching against Texas.
Off the end of the bat, Escobar, the second out of the 8th inning.
And a chance to win the series. You know, that's the bottom line about this whole thing. Romero pitched well enough in just one bad inning.
There's a happy young fan here on school day, and his favorite team, the Blue Jays, look like they're going to win the series against the Texas Rangers. Bautista takes his strike. Bautista lined to third base in the 3rd inning, and then had a sac fly in the 4th and walked in the 6th. There are signs that his timing is coming around.
Bat speed is still there, certainly. Evidence of that long home run last year, and then that line drive to right field I thought was a good sign of his last at bat last night.
And he strikes out, and Uehara has a clean inning of work, couple of strikeouts, and we'll go to the 9th. The Blue Jays lead 11-5. 2012 baseball season with At Bat 12 for your iPad, iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android device. Listen to live radio broadcasts and receive batter-by-batter information for every game. Visit BlueJays.com for more details. Joel Carreño was the starter in Game 3 of the season against the Cleveland Indians. He went 6 innings, allowed 6 hits, 4 runs. He gave up a pair of home runs to the Indians catcher Carlos Santana.
Those were the only mistakes he made in that game. Home run to lead off the second, then a 2-run home run in the 5th inning. Blue Jays would lose that game 4-3. Carreño just called back up. Evan Crawford back down. Some length out of the bullpen. Carreño can give you multiple innings. He was starting down in AAA. And now a chance to come off the plane and get right into a ball game.
Carreño made 4 starts in Las Vegas. He had a 2-2 record with a 6.20 ERA. And like so many pitchers down there, he gave up more hits than innings pitched. So Daniel Murphy, who did not start in this game, will come off the bench, and he will pinch hit for Brandon Snyder. Ninth inning. Carreño throws the first pitch strike. Carreño throws a lot of strikes. He's got a lot of confidence in his slider. His changeup is becoming more effective.
He can sink his fastball also. Last year when he came up, threw a lot of sliders, but his fastball is good. It's got some movement to it.
Oh, 0-2. Strike 3 call. 3-pitch strikeout for Carreño.
The all-new 2012 Honda CR-V. Yeah, it does that. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
A second pinch hitter of the inning will face Joel Carreño. It'll be Mitch Moreland. Moreland started the first 2 games at first base. Hit a home run here on Monday night. Just missed with that first pitch. The Texas Rangers have won just 5 of their previous 15 games here at Rogers Center. This has been a tough stop for them on the road. If the Blue Jays can close this out, it'll mean that the Rangers have lost back-to-back series. They lost a 3-game series to Tampa Bay to wrap up their homestand, and they would have lost this series 2-1.
Starting off on a big road trip here, then Cleveland, and then Baltimore for 4.
There's a strike. It's 2-1. The Rangers came into this game with the best road record in baseball. They were 9-2 on the road. And now the Blue Jays have strapped them potentially with a couple of L's. This game, of course, not quite finished. Breaking ball missed downstairs. It's 3-1.
It's a good telling series, I think, for the Blue Jays, with the big reputation that the Rangers have playing in the last couple of World Series. They come in here. Blue Jays have to stand their ground, especially after losing the first game against Yu Darvish. Yesterday's win was a huge win for him.
Well, you get beat 4-1 in the opener, and then before you look up, you're down 5-0 after an inning and a half, and you could have seen the Blue Jays just say, okay, well, we're done.
Yeah.
We can't play with the Rangers, but they didn't. They scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 3rd to make it a 5-4 game, and then they were back and forth the rest of the night.
It's one thing that John Farrell has said about his club is they will play you all the way to the end.
When the Rangers came to town, they had a lot of momentum. They had a 16-6 record with Yu Darvish going to the mound, and yeah, they won the opener, but the Blue Jays are on the verge of taking the last two.
Got to play in front of a national audience down in the States. ESPN came to town on Monday night.
Pop toward left field. Thames coming in. Moreland's retired. Rangers are down to their last out. Top of the order, Ian Kinsler. He's gone 0 for 3 this afternoon. Joel Carreño came up last year and made an impression on the Blue Jays with his ability to stay calm and throw a lot of strikes and never get into problems.
He was a lot like Luis Perez last year when he came in and said, you know, I'm not intimidated, not afraid of anything. Throws his breaking ball for strikes. First thing you want to see when a young pitcher can come up here and throw his breaking ball for strikes.
There's that breaking ball for a strike, and he's ahead of Ian Kinsler. One and two outs. Blue Jays win the series. Joe Carreño with a clean inning in the ninth. It picks up the win for Ricky Romero. Edwin Encarnacion with his 9th home run. He's tied for the American League lead. Escobar had a 3-hit game and drove in 3.
8 good innings for Romero, just 6 hits. Gave up the 5 earned runs, but the offense was the story here today. 11 hits, 11 runs for the Blue Jays. Home run power starting to show for Toronto.
Blue Jays hit 6 home runs in the series. They finish up the homestand 4-2. We'll be out in Anaheim tomorrow night now. Stay tuned for Blue Jays Central. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn.